Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this Saturday morning. So, as you know, we started Shri Krishna Katha Amrit series last weekend. First session was virtual. So we'll continue with that Krishna Katha Amrit series. Target is it will go on for about 15 weeks. And we are planning to cover 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Let's see, Krishna willing, whatever is the plan, how it flows. We'll try to absorb ourselves in the nectarian pastimes of Lord Krishna, along with many lessons to learn how to progress in bhakti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinim Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Mahavidanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratshe Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirai. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishiki. Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadhi Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindayo Namo Namaha. Namah Pankaj Nabhaya Namah Pankaj Maline Namah Pankaj Netraya Namaste Pankajangri. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stuvanti Divyaistvai Vede Sangapad Krama Upanishade Gayanti Yam Samaga. Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa yapashyanti yam yogino yasyantam na vidhu sura surgana devayah tasmai namaha. Devayah tasmai namaha. Hare Krishna. So, last time we were discussing, Shukdev Goswami is describing various leelas, Lord's various appearances, various incarnations to Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj has been hearing very eagerly, with full absorption, full concentration. And then, stopping the katha in between, Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukdev Goswami, or request Shukdev Goswami, you have described Suryavansha and Yaduvansha, various kings who appeared in these glorious Vanshas, in so detail. Now I want to hear about whom? Now I want to hear about Lord Krishna. You have spoken about the Vanshavali of Suryavansha and Chandravansha. Now I want to hear about Vanshidhar, one who appeared in Yaduvansha. So please describe to me about the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. And why Shukdev Goswami should speak about Lord Krishna? Parikshit Maharaj is asking specific questions. First question he says is, Balramji, he first appeared in the womb of Devaki, but then he transferred into the womb of Rohini Devi. How did Balram transfer from one womb to another without changing of bodies? Generally, it is that one person going from one mother to another mother's womb, it is transfer of bodies, changing of bodies. How did Balramji transfer from the womb of Rohini Devi from the womb of Devaki Devi to the womb of Rohini Devi? Why did Krishna appear in the prison house of Kamsa as the child of Devaki and Vasudeva? And why did Krishna go to the house of Nanda Maharaj? What did he do there? Where did he live? What kind of activities he performed? As Krishna came back to Mathura, Krishna killed his own uncle, his own mama, Kamsa. Generally, the mama and bhanja, they have a very loving relationship, loving exchanges. Mama sends many gifts, many toys to the nephew, right? भांजा मामा अपने भांजे के लिए बहुत बहुत सारे उपहार भेजते हैं. So Kans Mama also sent many gifts to Krishna. He sent the gift in form of Putana, in form of Agasur, Bakasur, and Krishna did not like any of those gifts and he broke all those gifts. And then Krishna came to Mathura and he did not like Mama and he broke Mama himself. So why did Krishna kill his own Mama Kamsa? Whom did Krishna marry? Because we know Krishna married 16,108 queens. And many people have these questions, these doubts. Why did Krishna marry so many? Lord Ramachandra, his character easy to understand. Maryada Purushottam. Not much doubts. But Krishna performed many activity, it's very hard to understand. That's why hearing Krishna's pastime, it's very important to hear those in a sequence. Starting from his appearance, his childhood activities, and then go in details of other activities. Otherwise, your mind will be bewildered. Because Krishna performed so many wonderful activities, to understand Krishna, we need to go through a bona fide process, bona fide medium. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking all these questions, and Parikshit Maharaj is saying that even though people in this Kali Yuga, they think we are religious people, we are pious people, but effectively nobody has desire to hear about Krishna. Krishna's pastimes are actually like nectar. Krishna's pastimes are like the medicine who can cure the disease of our all this conditioning. It can drive away all the anarthas from the heart. Nivritta trishaye rupgiyamana bhav oshadat shrotra manobhiramat kautama shloka gunanuvadat puman vrajayet bina pashughanat. Who will not like to hear about Krishna's pastime? Whose heart has become like the heart of a butcher. A butcher who does not hesitate in killing other living entities for his occupation, his business, or for the satisfaction of his tongue. So that person's heart has become so hard. The person whose heart has become so hard, like a butcher, he does not drive happiness in hearing about Krishna's pastime. But otherwise, Krishna's pastimes are like the medicine to cross us from this Bhavasagar. See, in this world, everybody is thinking we are too busy with our occupation. काम ही पूजा है. Work is worship. It's a very famous statement, right? Work is worship. Everybody think हमें तो अपना कर्म करना है, कर्म करना है. People don't even understand what is the difference in karma and karma yoga. They think whatever activities, mundane activities we are performing, so-called obligation, so-called responsibilities, they think it's karma. So people think it's karma, we are doing our karma yoga, काम ही पूजा है, we go to our office, we take care of our family, we take care of our household. All that is karma. But in real sense, what is karma? In Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, Kapila Dev described what is real process of religiosity or what is the real process of devotion. It says, Nehayat karma dharmaya na vairagya kalpate na tirtha pad sevai jivan api mrito hi sah. It's a very, very beautiful verse. It says, Nehayat karma dharmayo. If that karma, whatever activities we are performing, if we think we are performing our duties, our obligation, whatever activities, whatever karma we are performing, if it does not lead to dharma, all that activity is waste. Nehayat karma dharmayo. And people think, oh, we are very dharmic people, we go to temple, we worship at our home, we do agarbatti every morning. Until we do our puja, until we do our agarbatti, until we put that red kumkum on our forehead, we don't step out of the home. So we are being very religious people. But what is dharma? If we think we are being very dharmic people, it has to be some proof of being dharmic. There has to be some signs of being dharmic people. Isn't it? If you tell me, I am a millionaire, I have a very good business proposal, how many will like to take my advice and invest in something? Why should somebody listen to you? Why should somebody agree that or believe that yes, you are a millionaire or you have a brilliant idea? There has to be some proof. There has to be some sign of somebody is being a millionaire. His lifestyle, his dealing should be in accordingly. So what is the proof that somebody is being a religious person, dharmic person? How do we understand? So the next part of that verse says, so nehayat karma dharmaya na vairagya kalpate. And if the karma does not lead to dharma, and if that dharma does not lead to vairagya, na vairagya kalpate. If when we are being dharmic person, if we think I am performing some religiosity, there has to be some sort of vairagya developing in my heart. And somebody may say, yes, I am being very renunciate also. See, I eat very little, I sleep very little, I don't do any recreational activities. So I do my puja part and I am very reserved in all these different activities, very conservative, or I don't sleep too much, I don't eat too much, I don't enjoy, don't go on vacation and all that. But I spend time with my family, I take care of my family, I have so many different things. So yes, that is good. When people speak like that, some devotee may get a inferiority complex actually. See, look at that person, my God. He is maybe better than me. He is not even a proper devotee and he is doing something and maybe he is better than me. He is, see, doesn't eat much, he doesn't sleep much, he doesn't watch TV also. But what is the next symptom? When somebody says Vairagya is also developing, all that Vairagya is useless until it leads to devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Na tirtha pad sevai. So the karma should lead to dharma, the dharma should lead to Vairagya, the Vairagya one should lead to cutting down all our other activity, responsibility and engaging in the devotional service, engaging in the service of the Lord, service of the devotees of the Lord. That is real being a dharma. Otherwise, what is the use of that person's life? It says, Jivan api mrito hisa. That person's life is as if being a dead person. Now you don't want to go to your office and tell your colleagues, oh, your life is waste, you are like a dead person. So there is always a way to explain the things. You don't want to just bombard all that on the person, you are waste, your life is waste, you are like a dead person. The head of that person should be chopped off, who doesn't bow down in front of the Lord. That is not our philosophy. Yes, it is for ourselves to examine ourselves, what we are doing. When we say I am being a religious person, I am trying to progress in spirituality, this is a test for us. Is there vairagya developing in the heart? Is there renunciation developing in the heart? Is there desire to engage in the service of the Lord developing in the heart? So that is the test for ourselves. Not to judge others, not to check others. In some other culture, people distort the whole idea of the scripture and they think, oh, our purpose of our dharma is to kill people who don't follow our culture, our dharma. Right? People distort that idea. But it is for our own test. Because many people in this world, they pose themselves as being a religious person, but the religiosity is like, it's like the garnish on your food. You make some nice poha, and on the poha you squeeze some lemon to give some flavor, give some taste. So same way people perform religiosity, that is like their little flavor on top of that as a digestion for sense enjoyment. Right? To make the sense enjoyment, to digest something. So that is not the purpose of dharma. In this world, people, when they see some sadhu, some saintly person, they approach the saintly person and they will tell him, bless us, please give us your blessing. It's very common, right? People go to some sadhus and they'll say, please bless us. And what is the purpose of asking for blessing? We can progress in our material life. Ghar mein sukh shanti ho, smriddhi ho, prosperity ho. So that is the purpose of asking for blessing. The purpose of asking blessing of a saintly person is all these attachments, material attachments can go away. We can become freed of all these anarthas and we can develop some taste in bhakti. We can develop some taste in chanting the holy name. So when Prabhupada was in India, right, sometime Prabhupada will take his Western disciples and he will go to India, and some of his disciples are like sannyasi robes who accepted sannyas. So they are going in the street and some people approach them. Are you Ashirvad Baba? They will call, are you Ashirvad Baba? And they have no clue what is this term mean, Ashirvad Baba. What is that? You don't even know what is Ashirvad Baba. You are wearing saffron clothes. You are wandering, you are walking in streets in India and you don't know what is Ashirvad Baba. And same way, once Prabhupada was traveling in train and some people climbed into that same cabin. They came to Prabhupada. They asked Prabhupada, please bless us. Can you please give us your blessing? And Prabhupada is just kept quiet and looking at them. They asked, Swamiji, can you give us your blessings? And Prabhupada had two of his disciples on the side. Prabhupada called them. They came in the front. Prabhupada showed them. See, these are my disciples. Actually, they belong to a very multi-millionaire family. They got my blessings and this is how they are now. Are you sure you want my blessings? And those people, Swami, that's okay, we will come some other time. And they ran away. So, what is the whole point I'm saying is, when somebody say, yes, we are also being very religious person, what can you tell us? We are also dharmic people. We go to temple, we do some puja part at home. But the real test of being religious person is all that feverish mentality of this material world. जो भौतिक बुखार है हमारे जीवन में, that should reduce. We should get attraction to serve the Lord, to chant the holy name of the Lord, to serve the devotees of the Lord. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying that Krishna's pastime, Krishna's activities, it's so wonderful. Hearing those pastimes, they are like the medicine to help us relieve from our diseased condition, to cross beyond this ocean of material existence, the birth cycle of birth and death. But people don't find taste in hearing that because their heart has become so hard. So Parikshit Maharaj requests, please speak about these glorious pastimes of Krishna. And Shukdev Goswami starts to narrate after congratulating Parikshit Maharaj, all that. So he starts with why Krishna appeared, how Krishna appeared. So once Mother Earth being tortured by all these demoniac kings, being burdened by the sinful activities, Mother Earth approached Brahmaji. Akranta bhuri bharena brahmanam sharanam yajo. Mother Earth approached Brahmaji because of being tormented by the burden of these sinful activities. She was shedding tears with so much anxiety. She approached Brahmaji, requested Brahmaji, please relieve, solve my problem. Brahma said, I cannot solve your problem. Your problem is too big for me. It's beyond my department. He took Lord Shiva, he took Lord Indra and all other Devi Devata. Said, we will approach Lord Vishnu. He will be able to solve your problem. So they all go to the Shir Sagar, where to find the Lord. So they all pray to the Lord. They start glorifying the Lord. And then Brahma hears the voice of Lord in his heart. Lord says, do not worry, I will appear. I will appear in Yaduvansha as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, and I will destroy all these demoniac kings. So, Lord gave them assurance of protection and told that all the Devi Devatas, they should appear in Yaduvamsha to assist me in my Leela. For Lord, he doesn't need any assistance. Why he's asking everybody to appear? So they all can participate in the pastimes of the Lord. They can associate with the Lord. And they get the glory that they performed so many wonderful activities, so many wonderful pastimes. So Brahmaji heard only the voice. Nobody was able to see the Lord. After hearing the voice of Lord Vishnu, Brahma told everybody what he heard and instructed them, you all appear, your anshas should appear in Yaduvamsha, all your queens, your wives should appear in Yaduvamsha to participate in Lord's Leela. And everybody went back to their personal abodes. Lord Brahma went to his abode, Brahmaloka, Indra went to his Indraloka, and everybody returned back. Now, Shukdev Goswami takes his camera, move it into Mathura. What is happening in Mathura? It's a wedding ceremony of Vasudeva and Devaki. So Vasudeva and Devaki's wedding happened. Who is Devaki? Devaki is cousin of Kamsa. Kamsa is the son of Maharaj Ugrasen. And Maharaj Ugrasen's brother is Devak. And Devak's daughter is Devaki. So Kamsa and Devaki are not real brother sister. They are cousins. So Devaki Kamsa ki chacheri bahan hai. Okay. So after the wedding happened, so we all discussed it last time. This is just the recap coming still. As Vasudeva is ready to take Devaki to her home, her new home, they get onto the chariot. Kamsa, all of a sudden, has a river of love flowing in his heart. एकदम से उसके हृदय में इतना प्रेम उमड़ पड़ा कि मैं अपनी बहन को उसकी ससुराल छोड़ के आऊंगा. I will take Devaki to her new home. So Kamsa took the seat of the chariot driver. He held on to the reins of the horses, and as he is ready to drive the chariot, all the devatas are thinking, what happened to Kamsa? All of a sudden he is showering so much love. इससे तो उसके पाप का घड़ा भरने में बहुत समय लगेगा. It will take so much time. So we need to do something. So they all made a Akashvani. What is that Akashvani? Patih pragrahinim kamsam bhashyah ashariravaak asya saptam ashtogarbho hantayam vahase abudha. O fool Kamsa, O fool Kamsa, the 8th child of Devaki will be the cause of your death. The same Devaki whom you are carrying with so much love and affection, her 8th child, 8th Garbha, will be the cause of your death. See, Akashvani did not say 8th son of Devaki. ऐसा नहीं बोला कि देवकी के 8वें पुत्र से तुम्हारी मृत्यु होगी, 8वां पुत्र तुम्हारा काल बनेगा. Because it could be a girl, it could be a boy, so it's a 8th Garbha, the 8th child. Because Krishna has his Leela to perform. And we'll hear who comes as 8th child in front of Kamsa. So all that has happened. Now all of a sudden, Kamsa's whole love evaporated. With one hand, he took on to the hairs. He held on to the hairs of Devaki. Another hand, he took out his sword and he is ready to kill Devaki. The same person who was showering so much love, all of a sudden he has become enemy. So that is the sign of a demoniac person. As long as there is no hindrance to your sense enjoyment, to your overall pleasure, nobody is restricting your pleasure, then you're okay. But as soon as you think it's danger for my sense enjoyment, it is danger for my fun, she shows an enmity all of a sudden. क्षणे रुष्टा क्षणे तुष्टा रुष्टा तुष्टा क्षणे क्षणे. एक पल में प्रसन्न हो गए, एक पल में क्रोधित हो गए. So that was the behavior of Kamsa. And at that time, Vasudeva ji is thinking, I need to protect Devaki. Vasudeva is not thinking it is their family matter. Right? I am still at their home. Devaki's father, his uncle, all their citizen, everybody is here. Let them deal with this. Why should I? मैं क्यों लफड़े में पड़ूं फालतू का? मैं क्यों झंझट लूं? Vasudeva is thinking she is my responsibility. She is already married to me. Now it's my responsibility to protect her. पति का जो धर्म है, the duty of a husband is to offer protection to the wife. Pati, pa iti, who offers protection. Right? So either it's a happiness or distress. It's either you have opulences or you are either चाहे आप करोड़पति हो चाहे रोडपति हो. So in both situation, taking care of each other, that is the duty of husband and wife. So Vasudeva said, I have to protect Devaki, but how to protect Devaki? Kamsa is very powerful. So I cannot fight with Kamsa face to face, swords to swords. So what should I do? So Vasudeva uses Kootaniti. Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed. Right? That is Kootaniti. So Vasudeva is also using this politics, Kootaniti. And sometimes when we hear this, we think, I already have so much politics going on in my life, office politics, family politics, this politics, that politics, and here also in Krishna Katha also politics. What is this going on? Why did I come to Krishna consciousness? See, if the politics, if this Kootaniti is used in Krishna's service for Krishna's task, that is also service to Krishna. Because Krishna is going to make his appearance in the house of Devaki and Vasudeva. And Vasudeva is thinking, I need to protect Devaki with whatever way I have to. So Vasudeva, he uses Sam, Dam. Dand he cannot use. He already thought, I cannot punish Kamsa, right? I cannot give any punishment to Kamsa, fight with him. So Sam, Dam and Bhed. These three he uses. First thing, Sam. What is Sam? Flowery words. praises, glorification. So Vasudev first uses the niti of Sama. He speaks very politely with Kamsa. Kansa, why you want to kill Devaki? Why you want to forsake your reputation by killing a woman? You are the pride of your family, Bhoja dynasty. See, you are the great hero. Everybody praises your qualities. So how could you do this? How could you kill your own sister? It will bring infamy to you. See, Vasudeva is using all these words of glorification, that Kansa, you are such a heroic person, everybody praises you. Just in previous session we said Kansa is such a demoniac person. He has such a demoniac quality. So Vasudeva, he is praising Kamsa. Is he being duplicitous person or what is he doing? So he is glorifying some of the qualities, because for every family, their son is a glorious person. Everybody has so much pride. They take so much pride in their children. So he's saying, you are the hero of your Bhoja dynasty. Why you want to forsake your reputation? So he uses this method of Sama. So he tells about the relationship, that what is your relationship with Devaki, what is your relationship with me, and why you want to do this heinous task. And when Kansa is so much bent on killing Devaki, so it's like a dialogue going on between Kansa and Vasudeva. Vasudevji is giving a discourse to Kamsa on the chariot. हम जानते हैं एक भगवत गीता का ज्ञान भगवान कृष्ण ने दिया. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita on the chariot to Arjuna. And before that, Kamsa heard the jnana of Gita from Vasudevji. Vasudeva spoke this knowledge to Kamsa on the chariot. And then Krishna followed in the footstep of his father, that I will also give the jnana on the chariot. So Vasudeva started telling Kamsa, why you want to kill Devaki? So now, Sam Dama, right? What will you gain? Dama is what will be the benefit you will drive. So what will you gain? He said, son of Devaki will be the cause of my death. And everybody loves their body. Everybody loves their life. So to protect myself, I am going to kill Devaki. And Vasudeva said, you are fearful of your death. But death is certain. Death is sure to come one day. Whoever has taken birth, death has already taken birth along with the birth. जैसे ही किसी का जन्म हुआ, मृत्यु उसी के साथ पैदा हुई है. Some people read the hand, some people read the lines on your foot, some people read the lines on the forehead. So all these things are written in many places in our body. Right? हाथ की रेखाओं में, पैरों की रेखाओं में, मस्तक की रेखाओं में. All these things are written. So birth, the death is born. Death has taken birth along with the life. Why you are fearful about the death? So jatasya hi dhruvam mrityur dhruvam janma mrityusya cha tasmat paryarya arthe natvam shochitum arhasi. A sober person is not bewildered by this. So when death is going to come one day, why you are so afraid? Why you want to get infamy by killing your own sister? And Kansa, as if he is telling, yes, death is going to come, but that death, I don't know when that death will come. Till the death come, I want to enjoy. Why should I risk my life? I want to prolong my life as long as possible. Who has seen the next life? Right? So death is going to come. This is the only life I have, and I want to enjoy this life as much as possible. And Vasudeva is telling, yes, death is certain, and this life is not the only life. After this life, there is another life. Before somebody gives up this body, his next body is already prepared. And Vasudeva quotes many examples. So this all is first canto of Bhagavatam, first chapter. Vasudeva quotes many examples to convince Kamsa that after death there is another birth. So Vasudeva is telling about the concept of soul. Vasudeva is telling about the concept of reincarnation. Vasudeva is telling about the concept of karma. So he's telling all that to make Kamsa understand. So how the next life is already prepared. So he gives the example, as a person is walking on the street, before he lifts his back foot, he first places his the front foot on the ground, then he lifts up his the back foot. So same way, before a person gives up his body, his next body is already planned. But Kansa may think, see this road, the example you are quoting, the person before he lifts his back foot or front foot, but this road is same. So that's why Vasudev quotes another example of जो पेड़ के ऊपर कोई कीड़ा होता है, right? Some bug on the tree. When the bug moves from one leaf to another leaf, before he gives up the previous leaf, he puts his front legs on the next leaf. Then he leaves another leaf. So same way, the soul, before quitting this first body, his next body is already prepared. So Vasudev is quoting all these various examples. Vasamsi jirnani atha vihaya navani grahanati naroparani तथा श्रीरानी विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति navani dehi. So as we give up the old cloth and put on the new cloth, same way the soul gives up the old body and he accepts a new body. So when you remove your old cloth, you already plan your next cloth. Let's say at night when you want to change into a night dress, before you remove your cloth, you already take out your next set of clothes, what you are going to wear. So the next cloth is already planned. So same way, before death, the next body is already in plan. What kind of body one will get. And Kansa may be thinking, okay, I understand the concept of next life also, but I don't know what kind of next life I will get. Right now I am a king. I have this beautiful body. I am enjoying all the opulences. I don't know what kind of body I will get in the next life. So I want to enjoy this life, the opulences of this life as much as possible. So still that is the reason I want to kill Devaki. Because I don't know what kind of body I will get. So Vasudev is telling, based on our consciousness, we acquire the next body. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Whatever is the consciousness we have at the time of death, that state we will attain. So that's why Vasudev is telling, I am telling you why you want to kill Devaki. Because if you perform pious activities, your next life, you will get a good birth. Maybe you will again become a king. But if you kill a woman, and that too a woman who is just newly married, and that is also who is your own sister, who is dependent on you, if you kill a woman, you will get so much of sinful reaction, and that in that way you have to definitely suffer in the next life. So why you want to create that sinful activity? So Vasudeva is giving whole Siddhanta of soul, reincarnation, karma. And as Kansa is still not understanding, he is still ready to kill Devaki. Vasudeva is thinking, I have to do something, I have tried all these different options. Kansa is still not giving up his, he is still ready to kill Devaki. What should I do? See, at that time Vasudevji is churning the rod, churning his intelligence. What next I could do to save Devaki? Right now, the first task in front of me is to protect Devaki somehow. So Vasudeva is using all his intelligence. And Vasudeva is teaching all of us. See, sometimes that situation comes in front of us also. What is Devaki? Devaki represents bhakti. And when our bhakti is at risk, when somebody is ready to destroy our bhakti, it could be somebody outside, some other people who are ready to destroy your bhakti, who are telling you why you want to do this. Wait, this is all retirement plan. Why you want to engage in bhakti right now? So there may be many people who want to choke up your bhakti. It could be our own mind which want to destroy our bhakti. So to protect our bhakti, we need to act diligently, use our intelligence to protect the bhakti that time, not get into all these traps. So Vasudeva is using all that intelligence. And another factor, another point to understand here is, Vasudeva is not thinking, see, Akashvani happened. Devaki's 8th child is going to kill Kamsa. So maybe it's destined. ये तो भाग्य है, भाग्य में लिखा है कि देवकी का 8वां गर्भ है, कंस का वध करेगा. So it is going to happen. So what is the need for me to protect Devaki? Somehow Devaki will be saved. वो तो जो भाग्य में लिखा है वही होने वाला है. It's destined. So Vasudev ji is not thinking it's all destined, so why should I do something? जो भाग्य में होगा वो हो जाएगा. Right? Sometimes we get into that mood. अरे जब भाग्य में होगा तब भक्ति करेंगे, जब हमारा समय आएगा तब भक्ति करेंगे, जब भगवान की इच्छा होगी तब हम भक्ति करेंगे. Isn't it? We hear these excuses so many times. People give these excuses. प्रभु जी आपका समय है, अब you are able to do भक्ति, हमारा समय नहीं आया, जब हमारा समय आएगा तो हम भी करेंगे. Right? When Krishna wants us to do bhakti, we will also do bhakti. So this is not that we leave it on bhagya. We need to do our endeavor. Vasudeva ji is showing with his example. That's why I told in the beginning, hearing Krishna Katha is not just reading the literal meaning of that. We need to understand the deep messages through that. How it relates to us through these characters of Krishna Leela. So Vasudeva is endeavoring hard to protect Devaki. In sometime in our case also, another example I will give you. अगर सुबह उठना है chanting करने के लिए, right? If you want to get up in the morning to chant, you think 5 बजे, if it is in my destiny to chant in the morning, 5 o'clock I will get up. If it's not, maybe 6 o'clock I will get up, maybe 7 o'clock, and then all of a sudden you know it's beyond 7 o'clock, now it's office time and all that time is gone. तो यही सोचते रह गए अगर भाग्य में होगा तो चैंटिंग करेंगे सुबह उठ के. If Krishna willing, Krishna wants, I will do. Yes, Krishna willing. Yeah, everything happens with the will of Krishna. But we need to put our effort. We need to put our endeavor. That's what Vasudeva is showing here with his example. We need to put our endeavor. He is not giving up. So Vasudeva is thinking, I need to work hard. He is very anxious to save Devaki. And first thing is to protect Devaki whatever way. So, using all his intelligence, Vasudeva told, okay, you are fearful that Devaki's 8th child will kill you. You have risk from Devaki's 8th son, 8th child, not poor Devaki. Why you want to kill Devaki? So you let Devaki go. I promise, whenever the child is born, I will bring that child to you and you can do whatever you want with that child. So now when Kamsa heard that proposal, that went into his mind. Yes, Vasudeva is telling right. Devaki, she is not the cause of danger for me. It's the child of Devaki. And Vasudeva is telling he will bring the child to me. Vasudeva, he is very righteous person. He is very truthful. He doesn't go by his words. That is the reputation of Vasudeva. So he trusted the words of Vasudeva and finally then Kamsa let Devaki and Vasudeva go. So Kamsa got down from the chariot which he was driving earlier to take them to their home. So Kamsa got down and went to his home, his palace. Vasudeva finally took Devaki and brought her to his palace. Now, as the time passes by, Bhagavatam explained, after 1 full year, the first child of Devaki and Vasudeva was born. And they named him Kirtiman. And Vasudeva, he took the newborn child. And he was ready to take that newborn child to Kamsa. Now you may think, what kind of father is he? He is taking his newborn child, 1-day-old baby, in front of that demoniac Kamsa, and we don't know what he is going to do with that baby. Is there no compassion in the heart of Vasudev? वसुदेव के हृदय में कुछ भाव नहीं है क्या? Why he is taking the child? See, Vasudev also has emotions, he has the feeling, he has the bhav. But what is Vasudev thinking? Vasudev is anxious to carry out the mission of Krishna. Vasudev is anxious to serve Krishna. That Lord is going to appear as the 8th child of Devaki. And I need to participate in Lord's Leela. We want to see the Lord face to face. And Vasudev is anxious to serve Krishna, serve the Lord. So he is ready to do all his duty. And moreover, Vasudev is thinking, I need to fulfill my words. For a Kshatriya, his word is most important. I have given the word, I need to fulfill that word. It's not that Vasudev is emotionless or heartless, but he is doing his task. He is anxious to serve Krishna. Like in the war of Kurukshetra, when Abhimanyu was killed, even though Arjuna had heard the whole Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna heard all the philosophy about the Jiva, the soul and reincarnation and karma and all that different Siddhanta. When Abhimanyu died, Arjuna started crying. Arjuna had emotions because it's very natural at that moment to get those feelings, get those emotions. And seeing Arjuna crying, Krishna also started crying. Why Krishna is crying? And I spoke all that Bhagavad Gita to you. I gave all that knowledge to you. So you are still crying for the body. But the ultimate point is, yes, emotion is natural. One is overcome with those emotions, but because of the knowledge, we are able to compose ourselves. We come back to the right understanding, and one engages in his duty again. See, the purpose of knowledge is that one does not give up his duty. So Arjuna did not give up his duty. He again took up his bow and arrow and he started fighting. Right? He continued with his duty. So Vasudeva is continuing with his duty. I have given this word to Kamsa and I am going to become the instrument in service of Krishna. So he is anxious in service of Krishna. In service of Krishna, sometimes we have to do many sacrifices. When we talk about Krishna Janama, the festival of Krishna Janam, Krishna appearance, it is about sacrifice. Vasudeva and Devaki, they made so many sacrifices. They sacrificed their 6 children. They went through so much trouble. They went through so much pain. Yes, we celebrate at the end. But ultimately, what does this festival teach? It is a festival, learning, inspiration, about sacrifice in service of Krishna. And devotee is always anxious to serve Krishna. As Prabhupada teaches in all his various pastimes. Prabhupada took so much anxiety to establish this movement. Right? There was a price to pay. What is that? So much anxiety. People will think, there is so much anxiety in Krishna consciousness. Why am I doing this? Right? There is anxiety about chanting. There is anxiety about reading. There is anxiety about book distribution. There is anxiety about bringing new people. There is anxiety about building new people, building new temples. There is so much anxiety. When especially they were building this Juhu temple, right, there are so many issues coming up in dealing with that land, that property for Juhu temple. And devotees will go to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, there is so much anxiety there, I am not able to focus on my chanting. Prabhupada said, do you think I don't have anxiety? I also have anxiety. When all these disciples come with so many different problems, I also get anxiety. But what you do with that anxiety? In service of Krishna, taking that anxiety also, it's good for in Krishna service. That anxiety is also good to progress in Krishna consciousness. So when you are in anxiety, what is the best thing you do? You chant loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So devotees, they go through so much of anxiety to serve Krishna. So Vasudeva took the first child, he brought it to Kamsa. As Kansa saw the first baby, the newborn child Kirtiman, Kansa took it into his lap. What was Kamsa's expression? What was Kansa's emotion at that time? The Kansa, even though he was married, he had two wives, Asti and Prapti, he had no children. So when Kansa looked at the first child, it's not that Kansa got mercy. That तो छोटा सा बालक है, एक दिन का छोटा सा बालक, cutie pie, ulululu. So he is not thinking mercy or compassion. What is the mood Kansa, the bhav Kamsa has? The bhav of abhiman. ये एक दिन का बालक ये मेरा क्या कर लेगा? I am so powerful. What can this little child do to me? So Vasudev ji, take this child, go back. This child is not the cause of my death. He is not the risk for me. You take him and you go back. And Vasudev heard the word of Kamsa. He could not believe. Shane rushta, shane tushta, rushta tushta, shane shane. Now he is showing so much affection. He is saying, take him back. Next moment, you cannot trust this person. He can change his mind anytime. But Vasudevji took the child, brought him back. At that time again, Devi Devatas, they saw Kansa's change in heart. What is he doing? पाप का घड़ा भरने में तो बहुत समय लगेगा. ऐसे तो if he keep letting all these children go, and we want Lord's appearance quickly. So Saraswati ji, please do something. And Saraswati said, every time you want to do something, you think of me, remember me. पहले राम समय में, रामावतार के समय में भगवान को 14 वर्ष का वनवास दिला दिया, इतना गलत काम करवा दिया मुझसे. Now even bigger sinful task you want to put in my credit, that you want that child to be killed and you want me to become the instrument for that? No way. I am not going to do anything. Then Indra saw Narad Muni coming. Narad ji, please do something. Narad said, definitely. I am eager to see Lord's appearance quickly. I will make the arrangement. Narayana, Narayana. Narad Muni came there in palace of Kamsa. Kamsa received Narad Muni. See, Narad Muni, in the whole Vedic literature, Narad Muni is that one character who is respected by Devatas also, and he is respected by the demons also. That is the character of Narad Muni. Narad Muni comes in front of demonic demons also, and he is on the surface he shows very friendly with them also. And it's very hard to understand Narada's character, why Narada do what he does. When many people, they make fun of Narada, they criticize Narada, but Narada is Mahabhagavat. And people who are criticizing Narada, who are making fun of Narada, they are doing like a big Vaishnava aparadh. Because Narada is a Mahabhagavat. Whatever Narada does is, what is his purpose, what is his mood? Sometimes we see he make people fight, right? He make people get some little misunderstanding and fight with each other. All that is, he is bringing about the mellows in the pastimes of Krishna. Ecstasy in this pastime. He is eager to bring forward all these wonderful leelas of Krishna. So Narada is eager that Lord should appear quickly as possible. If these children are not harmed by Kamsa, Vasudeva and Devaki, they may become lax, thinking, oh, we got one child and let's just be satisfied with that. What is the reason of giving birth to further more children? So Kamsa came in front of, Narada came in front of Kamsa. You fool Kamsa! What did you do? Why you let go the first child? And Kamsa said, what did I do? You let the first child go, you don't know who that child may be. Vishnu is your enemy. He can plan to come in any form and shape and he can destroy you. Vishnu is your enemy. He can come in any way. And Kamsa said, the 8th child of Devaki is the cause of my death. That was the Akashvani. I don't have any harm from the first child. Narada said, is it so? Narada put forward his fingers. Count these fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kamsa counted like that. So start from here, this side. Then this finger becomes the 8th finger. Okay, now start from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this finger becomes 8th finger. So if you count from this side, then this side is 8th finger. You count from this side, then this finger is 8th finger. So see, that is the plan of Vishnu. He said 8th child. But in his calculation, who is the 8th child? From the beginning or from the back side? You never know. विष्णु तो ऐसा है, वो खंबा फाड़ के आया, हिरण्यकशिपु को फाड़ डाला. Now in what form Vishnu will come, you never know. So you better be careful. Narada, Kansa, he understood. And he says, told his soldiers, go catch Vasudeva and Devaki, put them in the prison. So he took Vasudeva, took Devaki, took their first child and put everybody into the prison house. Ugrasena told, why are you doing this? She is your sister. I told, put my father also in prison house. Ugrasena ko bhi jail mein dal diya. So Kamsa went into the prison house. What did he do? He took the first child from the hands of Devaki. Holding that child from the legs, he smashed that child onto a stone in that prison house. Such a demoniac, cruel activity. We cannot even imagine how a person can do that. It's like जैसे a washerman, he beats his cloth onto the stone. धोबी जैसे कपड़े धोता है पटक पटक के. कंसा ने ऐसे चाइल्ड को पकड़ा और पटक के मारा पत्थर के ऊपर. He killed that child. And Devaki was horrified seeing that scene, the blood, the first child dead in front of her eyes. So she is suffering, she is going through that much pain. First child, second child, third child, fourth, fifth, sixth. Kamsa killed 6 children of Devaki and Vasudeva, one after another. So Devaki had to suffer so much pain. Why does this pain come in the life of a devotee? Vasudeva and Devaki are going to be the instrument for Krishna's appearance. So they are the pure devotees, they are the associates of Krishna. Why they are going through so much pain, so much trouble? Because Krishna appearance is about sacrifice. How much we are ready to sacrifice for the sake of Krishna. And when the misery come in our life, misery come for many reasons. If one reason is, for us, misery comes most scenario because of our own karma. Because we suffer based on our own karma. But in case of Devaki and Vasudeva, that is not the case. They are the eternal associates of the Lord. So in their case, what is the cause of all this misery? A better devotee or a higher level devotee, they have to go through a higher level test. So misery in a life of the devotee comes as a test also. To see the sincerity of the devotee, to check our sincerity, our eagerness. So bigger a devotee, bigger level of misery comes. So we should not get bewildered because of that. Because when the misery comes, ultimately Krishna's mercy is also following. And you want to know one more reason why the misery comes, or why we treat these things as misery, one confidential reason? Because when we are not ready to progress in Krishna consciousness because of our own conditioning, our own bindings, when we keep giving some reason or another, right? Many times people will give different reasons. Arey, meri job hi aisi hai, we cannot engage in Krishna consciousness, we cannot engage in service. Oh, my family, I need to spend time with children, I need to spend time with this, I need to take care of so many things. I am not able to progress in Krishna consciousness. So what we are telling Krishna, all these things are obstacle in the path of bhakti. And Krishna is merciful. Krishna wants to remove your obstacles.
He'll take a job.
Krishna may take away that job. You are saying this job, I am so busy in this job is obstacle, I am not able to progress in bhakti. Krishna says, okay, let me take away this job. Now you will have more time to engage in Krishna consciousness. And when that happens, then we think, oh my God, so much misery came in my life. Why, Krishna, why? I am your devotee, I am chanting your name. Why this misery coming to me? Something happens in the family, our near and dear one, something happens. We are in a big problem, right? We are thinking, why did this to me? Because you are the one who was telling Krishna, they are the obstacle in path of bhakti. So I removed that obstacle. Now you should be happy. So if we really don't want that misery, rather than giving all these reasonings, we should be honest to ourselves. What is the real problem in the progress of bhakti? Right? This is because of our own weakness of heart, our own laziness, or some other so many of these anarthas in the heart, which are the real reason for progress in bhakti. Once there was a sadhu and he was traveling with one of his disciples. And while traveling, they came to a village. It was night time, already dark. They came in front of a house and knocked the door. So one person opened the door, looked like very poor person. So the sadhu told, I am traveling and we need a place to spend night. Can you please let us stay here? So the person, he welcomed them. They stayed at his home. The sadhu told this person, so he saw that this person has so much land. There is so much of a farmland. And he is still in such a poor condition. He is just living life like a very poverty-stricken person. So he asked that person, you have so much land, why don't you use this land? He said, I am very happy in my life, I just get whatever I need. I'm using this. I have one buffalo. So buffalo gives milk, I sell that milk and that's enough for me, and I don't want to work much hard. So the next morning, when they were about to leave, the sadhu told his disciple, we are going to leave this place and let's take the cow or whatever buffalo of this person also without his knowledge. And the disciple thought, why Guru Maharaj is telling me, let's steal away this buffalo also and take it with us. But he just followed the order of his guru, and they, before that person woke up, they took his buffalo and they left that place. So many years passed by. This disciple always had that question in his mind, why did Guru Maharaj did that? Steal away the cow of that person. So Guru, knowing the heart of his disciple, he told his disciple after a few years, he told the disciple, you go back to that village and meet that person and tell me what is the situation of that person. So the disciple came back, he met that person. Now this person is very wealthy. He has a big house, so much opulences. So first time the disciple couldn't even recognize that person. So finally he met him and asked him, do you remember me? Few years back I came here with my guru. We stayed at your place. So you had one buffalo or cow. So that person said, yeah, that morning when I woke up, I did not see that buffalo. I lost that buffalo. So now how you became so rich? So he said, when I lost that buffalo, then I thought of my farms. So I begged from some other people, I brought some seeds and I started cultivating that land. So I grew that harvest. That year the harvest also came very nicely. So next year I did more harvest. So every year my farm is yielding so much harvest. Now I have become so rich. I am very thankful that day my buffalo was lost. Because until that buffalo was there, I was not utilizing my full potential. Now in all our lives also we have that buffalo. We are holding on to that buffalo in the form of alasya. Thinking I am doing 2 rounds of Maha Mantra, that is okay. Why 16 round? I go once in a while on Janmashtami every year to the temple. What is the need to go every week? So we are also thinking in that way, that whatever little bit I am doing, that is enough. Why I need to do more? So we become so lax in our progress in Krishna consciousness because of our laziness, because of our conditioning. And Krishna is very merciful. Don't wait for that day that Krishna will forcibly take away those things from you. Now you may be thinking, why Prabhuji, why are you scaring us? Because sometimes fear is important for us to progress. So Devaki and Vasudeva, they went through so many problems, but they have the mood of service to Krishna. Now, who are all these 6 children? There is a history. Who are all these 6 children? Devaki has become as an instrument. So these 6 children, they are sons of Marich. Brahma's son, Marich. Marich had 6 children. Even once Brahma, he got attracted to his own daughter and he ran behind his daughter. At that time, his children, they prayed to the Lord, please give him the right intelligence. What is he doing? He is such at a influential position. He is setting a wrong example. They did not criticize Brahma, but they prayed to the Lord for help. So Brahma was corrected. Brahma, from inside, he got the inspiration. He withdrew himself from that activity. But when the sons of Marich heard about that pastime, what has happened, they started laughing at Brahma. So Brahma cursed them that in the next life you will be born as asuras. You will be born as the sons of a Rakshasa. So those 6 sons of Marich, in the next life, who were they? They were the sons of Kalanemi. Kalanemi is son of Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu's brother. So Hiranyaksha's son was Kalanemi, and these 6 children were the sons of Kalanemi. So these 6 children were the grandsons of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So once these 6 children, they gave away the company of Hiranyakashipu. After Hiranyaksha is already killed by Varaha. So these 6 sons of of Kalanemi, they gave up the association of Hiranyakashipu and they went to perform austerities to please Brahma. And when Hiranyakashipu came to know, he was very angry that you have given up my association. I am the Supreme Lord. Right? Hiranyakashipu was declaring himself as God. That I am the Supreme Lord. Rather than coming to me, you are going to somebody else, you are praying somebody else. I curse you. In next life, you will be killed by your own father. Okay, you will be killed by your own father. So these 6 sons of Kalanemi, these are known as Shadgarbhas, who appeared from the womb of Devaki. And who is Kalanemi in the next life? Kamsa. Kamsa is Kalanemi in his previous life. Many people have still that misunderstanding or wrong information that Kamsa is the 3rd incarnation of Jai Vijay. Right? Jai Vijay first came as Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. Second time they came as Ravan, Kumbhakarna. Third time it came as Kamsa. No. Kamsa is not the 3rd incarnation of Jai Vijay. Kamsa was Kalanemi in previous life. Jai Vijay's 3rd incarnation, 3rd avatar was Shishupal and Dhantavakra. So these Shadgarbhas, they were killed by Kamsa. And they appeared through the womb of Devaki. Because the another Tattvik earth of this whole pastime is, before the Lord's appearance in the heart, for us to conceive the Lord in our heart, we need to give up the anarthas. So these Shadgarbhas, they represent the 6 anarthas. Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. These are the 6 vices in the heart. And for the Lord to manifest, Lord is present in everybody's heart, but we are not able to perceive His presence. For us to see the Lord in face to face, we need to become purified. Give up these anarthas. So for the Lord to appear in the womb of Devaki, these 6 anarthas need to be removed. So that's the tattvik, that the contextual meaning of killing of these 6 sons of Devaki and Vasudeva. Now when after these 6 children of Devaki and Vasudeva have been killed, now it's the time of the 7th son, 7th child to appear. Who is going to appear as the 7th child of Devaki and Vasudeva? So in spiritual world, now Lord is preparing for his appearance, right? His appearance is coming very close. And Ananta Seshji is walking ahead. I am going to come first. Now I say, where are you going? You are my Anuyaji, you come behind me. Where are you going? So he said, this time I am going in front of you. प्रभु आपके पीछे चल के देख लिया, राम अवतार में आपके पीछे पीछे आया. I walked behind you. I came as Lakshmana. And so much we have to face. You have to go on Vanvas. You have to walk in the front. All these thorns will first get into your foot. Because you were the elder brother, I had to follow you. I could not do anything. If I was the elder brother, then I will see who could have the power to send you to the forest. I will walk in front of you. If I was the elder, then all these thorns I will take on my foot. But because I was following you, so we had to see all that, face all that. Now, in this time, I want to go as elder. I want to go in the front. So Balramji is coming in the front, and Lord called Yogmaya. So Lord called Yogmaya to make arrangement to transfer Baldevji from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. So Balramji first appeared into the womb of Devaki, and that also actually it signifies one more very beautiful point here. Why Baldevji is coming first? Because Baladevji, who is Anantashesh, Anantashesh is the resting place for the Lord. So before Lord comes into the womb of Devaki, Anantaji need to prepare a resting place for the Lord. So Anantaji is first coming into the womb of Devaki. And Anantaji is thinking, I need to first clean up that place where Lord is going to make appearance. And Baldevji also represents the servitor Godhead, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the mode of servant. That is Baladevji. So when the anarthas are destroyed and then the service mode develops, service mode arises, then Lord appears. So first the 6 anarthas are destroyed as the Shadgarva, then the service mode in the form of Anantashesh takes place in the womb of Devaki, and that makes the place for Lord Krishna to appear. So the Lord called Yogmaya. You take Baladevji, Anantasesh, from the womb of Devaki and transfer her into the womb of Rohini, who is living under the care of Nanda Maharaj. So the 6th child, the 7th child was transferred, and it appeared from the external vision, it appeared as if Devaki had miscarriage. Unka garvpaat ho gaya. And all the people, all the citizens of Mathura, they started blaspheming Kamsa. Kamsa is such a sinful person. Earlier he used to wait for the child to be born, then he will kill. Now Kamsa had killed the 7th child into the womb of Devaki with some tantric vidya, some kala jadoo karke usko गर्भ के अंदर ही मार डाला. He is such a sinful person. And all the soldiers, right, the gatekeepers in the prison house, they came, gave the news to Kamsa that the 7th child was miscarriage. He's already dead. And some people, some of the ministers of Kamsa, they are becoming very happy. Chalo acha hua. Kamsa did not have to kill one more. And somebody was saying, oh, now it's the 8th child going to come. Now it's a time for the 8th child to appear. Now that is the real risk. And somebody else is saying, no risk. We can handle everything. Kamsa is so powerful. Nobody can harm Kamsa. So everybody is giving their different opinion. But everybody is eager for Devaki Vasudev's 8th child to appear. Now the Lord has already planned to appear into the womb of Devaki as the 8th child. Is the time for Lord's appearance. All the whole environment has become surcharged for the appearance of the Lord. And how does the Lord appear? Lord is not appearing as an ordinary child. So the Lord first appears into the mind of Vasudev. तो पहले भगवान वसुदेव के मन में प्रवेश करते हैं. Why? Vasudev's mind is considered as a dham. Vasudev's mind is described as a dham. What is a dham? Where Lord's name, His form, His pastimes, all those manifest, that is dham for the Lord. So all these things are manifested in Vasudev's heart. So Vasudev's heart has become as a dham. So for us to receive Krishna in our heart, we need to make our heart as dham of the Lord. And when our heart becomes a dham, when we remember Krishna. Like जब भगवान का स्मरण किया जाए, जब भगवान के नाम का स्मरण करते हो, जब भगवान के रूप का स्मरण करते हो, जब भगवान की लीलाओं का स्मरण करते हैं और जब भगवान की सेवा का स्मरण करते हैं, then our heart becomes as a dham. लोग बोलते हैं हमें चिंता बहुत है, बहुत सारी चिंताएं हैं लाइफ में. उनको बोलते हैं चिंता छोड़ो, चिंतन करो. चिंता करने से क्या होगा? चिंता चिता समान. चिंता करोगे तो क्या चिता मिलेगी? चिंतन करोगे तो भगवान मिलेंगे. तो चिंता छोड़ो, चिंतन करो. और चिंतन किस चीज का किया जाए? भगवान के नाम का चिंतन, भगवान के रूप का चिंतन, भगवान के लीलाओं का चिंतन, भगवान की सेवा का चिंतन. All our activities, if we see, they are all these things only. So morning you get up, what do you do? Naam chintan. Then you do the arati of the Lord, Rupa chintan. And then you read Bhagavatam or hear Krishna Katha, Leela chintan. And then you are thinking about the service of the Lord, Seva chintan. And that's the life of a devotee is engaged in these chintan. And when we do the chintan of the Lord in these ways, Lord appears in our heart because our heart becomes as a dham. So next time if you think of chinta, leave chinta and do chintan. So Vasudev, because he is always remembering the Lord is going to appear. So Lord first appears in the mind of Vasudev, and Vasudev becomes effulgent like a sun. Devaki is looking at the face of her husband and she sees as if her husband, this whole room has become illuminated, as the whole sun has arisen in this prison house. And from the mind of Vasudev, the Lord transfers into the mind of Devaki. And it is described as the sun sets in one place and the moon arises in the another place. So same way Bhagwan Vasudev के मन से निकलकर देवकी के मन में प्रवेश करते हैं. And from her mind, Lord enters into her हृदय गर्भ. So Devaki also becomes very effulgent. She becomes very beautiful. The whole place is illuminated. All the doorkeepers, जो सैनिक हैं, they are looking at what is happening here and they give the news to Kamsa, something is going on. Devaki is becoming so effulgent, the whole room is filled with light. Even though we haven't put any light there, कोई मशालें जलाकर नहीं रखी हैं, पूरा room इतना जगमगा रहा है. So something is going on. Maybe Devaki has conceived the 8th child. So as Kamsa come to know about this, Kamsa is very eager. Now the 8th child is going to come. The Akashvani was the 8th child of Devaki will be the cause of my death, and maybe that time is coming. So Kamsa come to see Devaki, but Kamsa is not able to look at the face of Devaki. There is so much abha, there is so much light on the face of Devaki, Kamsa cannot even see her. So Kamsa is very eager. And more than that, Parikshit Maharaj is becoming eager. When all this description is going on, Shukdev Goswami is narrating all that, Parikshit Maharaj का धड़कनें बढ़ रही हैं. He is becoming very anxious. What is going to happen next? Will Kamsa kill Devaki? Will the eighth child going to appear? Or Lord is going to change his plan? What is going to happen next? So even though he know what all has happened, but Parikshit Maharaj's mood is so much absorbed. He is eagerly hearing that उनके अंदर इतनी तीव्रता है, इतनी व्याकुलता है, इतनी anxiety है. He is ready to hear. He is not paying attention what is happening surrounding him. Parikshit Maharaj has been hearing Bhagavatam for how long? This is fourth day going on. He hasn't eaten. He hasn't drank anything. And before hearing Bhagavatam, he knew that Takshak is going to come and he is going to bite him and he is going to die. So Parikshit Maharaj is not thinking about Takshak ki Takshak kahan tak pahunch gaya. Let me turn on my Google map and see where is Takshak and make some arrangement. If we were in that place, what will we do? अगर आपको बताया गया होता 7 दिन बाद आपका जय सिया राम होने वाला है, what will we be thinking? जॉब की चिंता, फैमिली की चिंता, क्या होगा, कैसे होगा, सब कुछ कैसे मैनेज होगा, will be absorbed in all that. Parikshit Maharaj is not thinking all that कि तक्षक कहाँ तक आ गया, क्या होने वाला है. He is completely absorbed in Krishna Katha, hearing with so much eagerness, so much anxiety. What is going to happen? What is Kansa going to do? Is he going to leave Devaki or he is going to kill Devaki? He is again going to try to kill Devaki. Is the eighth child going to appear successfully? And Shukdev Goswami, hearing his eagerness, Shukdev Goswami is giving hint to Parikshit Maharaj actually. So indirectly he is telling him some hints, don't worry, nothing is going to happen. So he is using the word, Shukdev Goswami is saying, Devaki is like the fire in the house of Kamsa. What does that mean? See, sometimes there is fire in the house, but if that fire is not kept carefully, that fire can erupt and it can burn the whole house. Right? Sometimes we may say there is fire in the house. And the next moment when the fire takes over, the next moment the whole phrase change. What is next? The house is on fire. So right now Devaki is in the prison house of Kamsa, but Devaki is like the spark of fire. And Kamsa is keeping the fire in his home. So indirectly Parikshit Maharaj is giving, Shukdev Goswami is giving hint to Parikshit Maharaj, do not worry. Nothing is going to happen. Krishna is going to appear. Just hear and enjoy. So Parikshit Maharaj is hearing now further. Even though Kamsa knows that Devaki has conceived and he is very fearful, but Kamsa did not decide to kill the child in the womb of Devaki, that let me destroy the child in the womb itself. Because at least Kamsa also had that much respect for the Vedic culture. He did not believe in abortion. Even though Kamsa was such a demoniac person, but he did not believe in abortion, that no, killing the child in the womb is not right. Let the child come out, then I will see what to do. But he did not abort the child, he did not kill the child. Now people in current society, in current world, who engage in that kind of task, who try to kill the child in the womb of the mother, who engage in this abortion task, they are even worse than Kamsa. They are even more demonic than Kamsa in one sense, we should say. Kamsa also had a standard. Yes, he was a demoniac person, but he has a standard. So we can quote Kamsa. At least one good point in Kamsa, that he did not believe in aborting the child or killing the child in the womb. These days in the world we see so many abortion houses. Right? People are ready to kill the child. There are so many doctors, nurses, medical professionals, and they put their billboards, 100 रुपए में abort करें. Just for 100 rupees, they are engaging in that activity of aborting the child. So Kamsa, from that day when he saw the effulgence on the face of Devaki, Kamsa also became Krishna conscious. सोते जागते उठते बैठते चलते फिरते खाते पीते, every time he is thinking about Krishna. Krishna conscious in a different way, in a mood of enmity, in a mood of fear, right? As when Narad Muni is describing about the pastime of Shishupal to Yudhishthira Maharaj, why Shishupal got liberation? Because Shishupal was remembering Krishna out of enviousness. So even though out of enviousness he got liberation. So the same way he quotes the example of Kamsa. Kamsa got liberation because he was remembering Krishna out of fear. So even if somebody remembers Krishna either out of enmity, fear, enviousness, some way somebody remembers Krishna, they will be liberated. So Kamsa, from that day he became fully Krishna conscious. Jidhar wo jaye, he stopped sleeping, he stopped eating. अगर थाली उसके सामने रखो खाने की तो उसमें उसको विष्णु दिखाई दें, पानी का गिलास उठाए तो उसको विष्णु दिखाई दें, सोने के लिए जाए तो उसको आंखों के सामने विष्णु दिखाए, एवरीवेयर विष्णु विष्णु विष्णु. He forgot everything. He was in such a fearful state. So now it is the time of Lord's appearance. All the Devi Devatas, they thought we need to go do Garbhastuti. Brahmaji takes Lord Shiva, Indra and all the Devi Devatas. They say we should go and pray to the Lord who has appeared into the womb of Mother Devaki. So all the Devi Devatas, they took all their planes, they come into the prison house. It's all crowded, packed jam. Pura traffic jam ho gaya. So all these Devi Devatas, they started glorifying Lord Krishna. They started doing Garbhastuti. And how they are doing this Garbhastuti? By offering many different prayers to Lord Krishna. Satyavratam Satyaparamam Trisatyam Satyasya Yonim Nihitim Cha Satye Satyasya Satyamrita Satyanetram Satyatmakam Tvam Sharanam Prapannam. They are glorifying the Lord. You are absolute truth. You are truth but nothing else. Satyavrata Satyaparama. All your vows are true. All your activities are true. You are the absolute truth. We take shelter of you. So all the Devi Devatas, they are glorifying the Lord. They are taking shelter of the Lord because Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is the shelter for everybody. Even in this world, we may consider many different shelters. Right? We have so many different shelters. We think my family, my business, my wealth, my society, they will be able to save me. So we take shelter in so many different places. Prahlad Maharaj, what does he say in his prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev? That a child is protected by his father. So a father is generally a shelter for the child. But my father, the same shelter, he became my enemy and he was ready to kill me. But you are the absolute shelter. If somebody takes shelter of you, they are always protected. So you are the absolute shelter. Nobody else is the shelter. If the Lord is not favorable towards the child, even though the child may be in the presence of his father, he may be in the house of his father, but he may die out of some disease or some other condition. Nobody can protect him. But if the Lord is favorable to that person, to that child, the child can be protected. So you are the absolute shelter. So Brahmaji also prays. So in that way, all the Devi Devatas, they are praying to the Lord that you are our absolute shelter. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Right? Brahma also glorifies the Lord. That you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We offer our obeisances unto you. And what does Lord say in Bhagavad Gita? That you surrender unto me. I will protect you. Do not worry. Do not fear. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam shranam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma shucha. Do not worry, I will protect you. So Lord Ram also declares that. What does Lord Ram say? Sakradeva prapannayas tvasmiti chayachate abhyam sarvada tasmai dadhami etad vratamama. If somebody comes to me and tells me, from today, my Lord, I am yours, From that day, I take the vow to protect that person, to give shelter to that person. That is my vrata, that is my vow. So the Lord is the absolute truth. He is the shelter for everybody. In this material world, there may be many truth, relative truth. But the Lord is absolute truth. In this world, there may be somebody who may be intelligent, but Lord has absolute intelligence. There may be somebody beautiful, but Lord is absolute beautiful. There is somebody may be little powerful, but the Lord is absolute powerful. So whatever we see in this world, that is relative truth. Today you may say, I'm 30-year-old. 5 years later, if you make that same statement, I'm 30-year-old, will that be true? Some point of time that was true, but not anymore. So that is absolute, that is relative truth. But for Lord, everything is absolute truth. So all the Devi Devatas, they are offering prayers to the Lord, Satyavrata, Satyaparama. And Lord is listening to their prayers in the womb of Devaki. And Lord is telling, now you are telling me I am the absolute truth. My all activities are true. All my promises, all my words are true. Tomorrow I am going to do many leelas. Hopefully you are not going to doubt on me. Tomorrow I am going to steal also. Tomorrow I am going to tell lies also. So that time you are not going to tell me that I am speaking lie, I am speaking false. No, Prabhu, your all leelas are absolute truth. We have complete faith in you. So all the Devi Devatas, they pray to the Lord like that, and they all return back to their abodes. Now it's the time for Lord's appearance. Should we do the Lord's appearance today? No, we're going to do the appearance today. We will celebrate Nandotsav next time. So Lord is going to appear. And what is the time of Lord's appearance? Midnight. Which day? Which month? Which Muhurat? So Shravan Mas. Krishna Paksha. Shravan Mas, Krishna Paksha, Ashtami Tithi, Rohini Nakshatra. And that is the time of Lord's appearance in this world. The whole atmosphere is surcharged. The breeze is blowing. Cool breeze is blowing. The sky is filled with clouds. There is thunder going on. Lightning is going on. All the rivers are overflowing. All the rivers and ponds are filled with lilies and lotuses. All the mines in the forest are being filled with valuable jewels. All the brahmanas, they are feeling so much ecstasy in their heart. इतने सालों से जो उनकी यज्ञशाला बंद पड़ी थी, यज्ञशाला में अग्नि प्रज्वलित हो गई. So the whole atmosphere is being surcharged. All the birds are singing beautifully. And at that time, Lord is going to appear as the sun comes out behind from the mountain, as the lion take birth from the lionesses. So same way, Lord Krishna appeared from the Hridaya Garbha of Mother Devaki and appeared into the prison house of Kamsa in front of Vasudeva and Devaki. Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki jai. So the Lord has appeared in the prison house of Kamsa. And how is the Lord looking like? Why Lord appears in this world? Lord is addressed as Achyuta. Lord is addressed as, he is addressed as the Jagat Ishara, or who is the protector of the whole universe. So Lord first is addressed as Achyuta. When Lord comes down in this material world, his appearance is not like that of he has fallen down from spiritual world. Not like the other living entity. We all come down, we fall down because we have certain tendencies, certain desires to enjoy in this world. But the Lord is not falling down. It's not that he is something lacking in the spiritual world, so he is coming to the material world for enjoying something. Or Lord is not thinking, अरे बैठे बैठे बोर हो गए, चलो थोड़ा घूम के आता हूँ. Why Lord appears in this world? To offer protection, to destroy the miscreants, to offer protection to his devotees. The Lord appeared in this world. So the Lord has appeared in front of Vasudeva and Devaki. Devaki at that time was unconscious. First, Lord appeared in front of Vasudeva. So Lord's appearance is not like an ordinary child. Ordinary child appear, how does he look like? He comes out from the womb of the mother drenched in blood. He is crying. If he is not crying, we will beat him to make him cry. But the Lord does not appear like an ordinary child. He appears in his Chaturbhuj form, holding Shankh, Chakkar, Gada, Padam in his hands. He has a beautiful crown on his head, Kastuba jewel, Srivatsa line on his chest, wearing beautiful yellow garments, wearing nice earrings, a waist belt. So Lord is appearing in Chaturbhuj form, Narayan form, in the prison house of Kamsa. And as Kamsa, as Vasudeva saw the Lord, he is seeing the Lord face to face, and the Lord's beauty is described there. What is that? Tam adbhutam balaka ambujikshanam chaturbhujam shankh gada adi yuddha ayudham. So, tam adbhuta balakam. Lord is adbhuta balak. He is not as an ordinary child. He is a something extraordinary, wonderful, adbhut. The word balak. बालक का अगर संधि छेद करें तो क्या है? बाल क. बाल means hair. Ka. Who is addressed as Ka? Brahmaji is addressed as Ka. Brahmaji is the first living entity born from Lord, who appeared from the navel of Lord Vishnu. So Brahma is the first living entity. So he is addressed as Ka, because Ka is the first alphabet in our Devanagari. So to represent the first living entity, Brahma is addressed as Ka. And Brahma appeared from the realm of the Lord. Brahma is in charge of this whole Brahmand. But from the realm, every pore of the Lord, so many Brahmands come out, from whose body pore even Brahma came out. So that is addressed as Lord as Adbhut Balaka. So Lord is addressed as Adbhut Balakam Ambujekshanam Chaturbhuja Shankh Gada Adi Yuddha Ayudham. He is holding Shankh, Chakkar, Gada, Padam in his four hands. Shri Vatsalaksham. There is a Shri Vatsa line on his chest. Galashobhita Kostubham. He is wearing a beautiful Kostuva jewel in his neck. Pitambara. He is wearing Pitambara, yellow garments. Sandrapyo Sadobhagam. He is looking very attractive, very beautiful. So Lord appeared in front of Vasudeva in that Chaturbhuj form. Whatever vision Vasudeva had of Lord Krishna face to face, but Lord Vasudeva saw Krishna with his eyes, we can see same Krishna through our ears. With the detailed description of the Lord is described in the verses of Bhagavatam. Each and every word describe how the Lord appeared there, how he was looking like. So by just hearing those description, we can see Krishna through our ears. And rather than seeing the Lord with our eyes, it's better to see the Lord through our ears. Because by seeing the Lord with our eyes, we may make many mistakes. We may misunderstand his pastime, misunderstand his Leela. That's why it's very safe to hear the Lord or to see the Lord by hearing about him. And the Lord is, when he appeared, he is like not an ordinary child. In the Chaturbhuj form he appeared, and then Devaki, she comes back to her consciousness. She saw the Lord face to face there. Lord is standing there. I have appeared as your son. Lord is giving his introduction to his parents. That I have appeared as your son. In the previous life, you have done so many austerities to receive me as your son. Who was that? Vrishni and Shatarupa. So Vrishni and Shatarupa, they performed many austerities to have the Lord as their son. And the Lord said, there is nobody like me. Advitiya. Right? So there is nobody which is equal to the Lord. So I will myself appear as your son. And when you are not able to fulfill somebody's desire, when somebody has asked a boon from you and you are not able to give the exact same thing, so you give something as per your capacity but give it 3 times. So you have asked me to appear as your son. You want somebody like me as your son. There is nobody like me. I will myself appear as your son and I will appear 3 times. So first he appeared as the son of Vrishni and Shatarupa as Vrishni Garbha. Second time you became Kashyap and Aditi. I became your son, Upendra, Vamandev. And third time now you have appeared as Devaki and Vasudev, and I have appeared in front of you as your son. And Devaki is saying, Prabhu, why are you lying? You are saying you have appeared as my son. आप पुत्र की तरह खड़े हो कि हमारे पिता की तरह सामने खड़े हो? You look like you have appeared as our father. So Lord understood the mood of Devaki, and Lord transformed himself into a baby, a small child, still holding with Chaturbhuja Roop, holding Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padam. Everything became small. So the Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padam also small size. Lord is asking, Mother, are you happy now? Not happy. Prabhu, will you make fun of me in the world? Have you seen any child appearing in Chaturbhuja Roop, having 4 arms, appear like an ordinary child? And you are holding this Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padam. You have brought your toys also with you. Generally, parents give the toys to the child when the child is born. You have brought your toys with yourself. So this Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padam disappeared. Are you happy now? Still not happy. You are standing here with 4 arms. So the 2 arms disappeared. And remembering the pastime during Ram Avatar, that Mother Kaushalya also requested Lord to become as a small baby, and Lord transferred into a baby and started crying. Rodan Karathana. The Lord started crying. So Lord Krishna also transformed into a small baby. Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padam disappeared, 2 arms disappeared, and he started crying. And now Mother Devaki is saying, why are you crying? Now Lord is saying, now I am confused. You want me to become as a baby or not? And baby is naturally going to cry. But Mother Devaki, what is her bhav? That if Lord starts to cry, if he is just a quite small baby, I can hide him behind me and Kamsa will not come to know. But if the baby is crying, Kamsa will come to know, and he will come immediately to kill the baby. So that is the bhav which Mother Devaki has. So at that time, Lord Krishna, he instructed Devaki and Vasudev that you carry me from here and leave me at the house of Nanda Baba in Nandagram. You take me to Nandagram at the house of Nanda Baba and drop me there, and Devaki and Mother Yashoda has given birth to a girl child. You bring that girl child here and replace me on her place. And Kamsa will think that you have given birth to a girl child. So now Vasudev, he is ready to fulfill the order of his son. The child has appeared and he is instructing his father and mother. That is Adbhutta Balakam. So he instructs his father and mother to take him to Gokula, and Vasudev, he tries to find some object where he can keep the Lord to carry him to Gokula. What does he find? People say there was a tokri, right? He carried the baby in the tokri and he kept him on his head and took him. So actually, it is not really a tokri, it's like a chalani, chajja, जिससे धान और भूसा अलग करते हैं छान छान के उसको. So that was the chajja there, so Vasudev, he put a cloth there, put baby Krishna there on that, carried it in front of his chest to take the baby from the prison house of Kamsa to Nandagram. And Devaki is saying that you are so true to your words that every child you took to Kamsa. What about this child? And Vasudeva is thinking, when Lord has appeared in our house, Lord भगवान के ऊपर से तो कुछ न्यौछावर करना चाहिए. और भगवान के ऊपर से क्या न्यौछावर करना चाहिए जो हमारे लिए हमें सबसे प्रिय है. Whatever is the most valuable to us, and what is most valuable to us, valuable to me, my words are the most valuable to me. तो आज मैं भगवान के ऊपर से अपना जो वचन है उसको न्यौछावर कर रहा हूँ. उसको कंस के सामने ना ले जाकर मैं उनकी इच्छा के अनुसार उनको गोकुल लेकर जा रहा हूँ. So Vasudeva is ready to take the child, but now there is another problem. Vasudeva is shackled, right? And his hands and his legs are shackled with iron chains. There are locks on the door of prison house. How is Vasudeva going to carry the baby out? But as soon as Vasudeva kept the child in his lap, जैसे ही उन्होंने भगवान को अपनी गोद में लिया, all the shackles were removed. All the doors of prison house, all the locks opened. जो बड़े बड़े मोटे मोटे अलीगढ़ के ताले पड़े थे, सब ताले खुल गए. All the doorkeepers, they went into sleep. All the doors opened. So जैसे ही भगवान को गोद में उठाया, सब जितने बंधन पड़े हुए थे, all the shackles were opened. There is an indication there as soon as, because in our life also we have so many shackles. So many shackles of so-called forced obligation which have put on ourselves. We are bound by this Mahamaya. Mahamaya is keeping us bound in this material world. So we have so many shackles. हमारे ऊपर भी कितने सारे बंधन पड़े हुए हैं, पर जैसे ही हम भगवान की शरण में जाते हैं, as soon as we keep the Lord on our head, जैसे ही भगवान को अपने सर पर बिठाते हैं तो अपने सर से जितने भी बंधन हैं, all those shackles open. So as soon as Vasudeva carried the baby, all those shackles open, and Vasudeva started carrying baby Krishna out, and Mother Devaki is feeling so much anxiety by thinking of separation from her newborn child. See, just a ordinary mother also cannot part away from the child, a newborn child. And here the Lord himself has appeared in such a beautiful form, but he is ready to go immediately to the house of Nanda Baba. And why Krishna told, take me to the house of Nanda Baba, nowhere else in the whole world? Why to the house of Nanda Baba? Because Nanda Baba, he is the friend of Vasudev, and Nanda Baba has 9 lakh cows. So Krishna is saying, in the house of Nanda Baba there are so many cows, there is lot of butter, milk, yogurt. तो मैं उनके घर पर जाऊंगा, दूध मक्खन दही खा के बलवान होके बाद में वापस आऊंगा और कंस को मार के आप लोगों को छुड़ा कर लेकर जाऊंगा. So now you take me to the house of Nanda Baba. So Vasudeva is ready to take the child, and the whole atmosphere is charged. There is lightning happen, there is rain pour happening, because Lord is coming out. भगवान की सवारी आ रही है, भगवान जगन्नाथ बाहर आ रहे हैं, पूरे जगत के नाथ. उनके स्वागत के लिए रास्ते में सड़कों पर जो भी खड्डे पड़े हुए हैं, वासुदेव जी को पूरा रास्ता क्लियर दिखाई पड़े तो लाइटनिंग हो रही है, और पूरा रास्ता साफ करने के लिए पूरी अच्छे से बारिश हो रही है. ऑल द रेन पॉर इज हैपनिंग टू क्लीन द स्ट्रीट्स. सो वासुदेव जी कैरी द चाइल्ड एंड comes at the shore of Yamuna. How Yamuna Devi receives the child, how Yamuna Devi reciprocates with Nanda Baba, and how Nanda Baba Vasudev Ji, how Vasudev Ji crosses that river Yamuna and come to the house of Nand Baba, that we'll hear next time. And then the whole Nand Utsav, Nand Maharaj के आंगन में आनंद छा गया. नंद के घर आनंद भयो, नंद के आनंद भयो, जय कन्हैया लाल की. हाथी घोड़ा पाल की, जय कन्हैया लाल की. So that we'll save for the next time. ग्रंथराज भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.